Hello everyone, it's Raza Von Werder, aka Kelly Everts, and I've taken a break from my personal private childhood of being abused. I got tired of talking about it, and I want to talk about this, a book about some spiritual subjects. This is a book I published in 2009, The Beatific Vision, Seeing God Face to Face, by Guru Raza Von Werder. I am going to read it, explain it. I'm not trying to make you buy it. You can buy it if you wish, but I'm not trying to make you buy it, okay? I'm going to read most of all my books to you for free because I want people to hear the knowledge, the teachings, get the inspiration, the motivation, the light, the illumination, the enlightenment, or whatever you can get out of anything I have done that I have succeeded at with God. I want to give this to you. Freely it was given to me, and freely I give it to you. Okay? Now, so I have been explaining my visions. Now, I kind of feel like making a statement here. People get confused about religion and religious people who they think that a certain type of a person can see God face to face, but another type can't see God face to face. They have a lot of concepts. They think that because Raza, Kelly Everts, was in the adult trade, the adult therapy really is what it is, that in a business of strip-teasing, and Raza right now is showing her breasts to the people while she talks. Well, that's, by the way, that's like Liberace wearing super fancy suits, and he didn't need to wear super fancy suits to play the piano, did he? No, he didn't. He put a candelabra there to draw people's attention, and he started to wear increasingly fancy suits, and Elton John and many other great stars are doing the same. So why is that? Why do people in public wear fancy outfits? Look at the priests in the Catholic Church. They're dressed like the great priestesses of the ancient days in robes. I mean, gold, silver, green, satin embellishments, gorgeous, beautiful, lovely. It's showbiz. When they get up on that altar, they are part of show business. To show. So I am part of show business, and I am wearing my best clothes, my not my absolute sexiest. Like, I'm not going to do something that looks like I'm ready to jump in a porno bed, you know. But I'm going to wear things within reason that are pretty and nice. Okay, so people think because Raza was in the adult trade, so therefore she's dirty. Sex isn't dirty! Hey, if God created sex, does that mean he's a dirty old man? God created sex. God created sex for what purpose? What purpose? To procreate children? Duh. Oh, how boring. No, to share love. To share our love. And to enhance our healthiness. And children are a product of our love. Love should be in sex, all sex, not just married love. All sex that goes on, any kind of sex, should have love in it. God created it for love. It is sacred, it is holy. So therefore, I'm not dirty because I was in the adult trade and I look like I'm still in it in some ways, and I pose nude and semi-nude. Still, at my age of 73, I look good for my age, and men love me. You know, they love it. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. And if you think it's a sin, you are condemning yourself. Judge not, lest ye be judged. If you say it's a sin, then you're a sinner. You're going to feel like a sinner. You're going to feel guilty for something that's not sinful, unless you're doing sinful sex, which is abuse, exploitation, rape, and things like that. But other than that, it's not sinful. So I'm not sinful. So I can do anything any saint did. These are not things that prevented me from being with God, from being one with God, from loving God. I gave sermons in burlesque theaters and nightclubs, approximately 1,000 times over a period of years, over a period of about 14 or 15 years. And I was a dancer on stage for 21 years, on and off. And today, I'm a cougar. I date young men. It's not a sin! But to go on, I'm talking about this book when I saw God face to face, and I wrote an account of it. So there's people who judge and condemn their prejudice. And the people who judge and condemn me and are prejudiced against me for my background and for nudity and sexiness, they judge and condemn themselves, and they judge and condemn other people, but God does not judge and condemn them or me. Okay, now let us continue about seeing God face to face. A human being can be fettered and chained down by many different things in this life. I better explain this. You go through different stages. Now, when I was, at certain times when I'm in the world, I wouldn't be capable of this face-to-face experience. The face-to-face experience happened after almost 2 years of solitude. I put myself in a place of solitude where I did nothing but pray and think about God and read about God and go to church. And I was living off $50 a week. Hear me? I lived off $50 a week in order to do that. And many saints have done this. They went into seclusion. Many Catholic saints that I read, they had this sense, made them go into seclusion. And this seclusion lasted an average of 2 years. I noticed that. And my seclusion lasted approximately 2 years. Now, I didn't never go out. I had to go out. I lived by myself in Brooklyn at the time. I had to go to the market. I had to go to the bank. I had to do chores. I had to do certain things. But I didn't fraternize, hobnob. I told all my friends and relatives not to call me, not to write to me, not to contact me. I had to be alone. And I was alone most of the time. And I didn't have long conversations. I didn't have my mind and my heart dissipated. I was not in love with any guys. I was not dating any guys. I was doing what you gotta do to achieve what I wanted to achieve. Okay? Which does not mean I was in that state all my life, every day of my life. I'm not in that state now. It would be nice, but you don't have to keep going through the same states. You can't. It's impossible for a human being. Okay, so let me go on. Let me go on, because I can already feel the objections and the questions that people are, as soon as they hear this, they're going to think and say, so I'm answering them. Okay. You have to give up and renounce all attachments which are of the flesh and of the world and of the devil, in order to have perfect, intimate union with God. This is the hardest and most important thing you can do on the road to God realization. What I have just said bears a lot of explaining in terms of what a person actually does with their day-to-day existence and living situation. I will explain this in due time. I just explained a little bit of it. There are many gifts of God, but two basic ones. They are the gifts of this world, the gifts of the earth, which include your physical body, surroundings, environment, and everything of the earth and flesh. Beyond that are the spiritual gifts, which include all the Holy Spirit manifestations and abilities. In another place, I've called these the programs which God has downloaded into you. If you are to be in the place that I have outlined, and you have to renounce both kinds of gifts. Boy, I was smart when I wrote this. I didn't even remember this. I swear. You can't remember everything all the time. You can't. You have to renounce both kinds of gifts, the physical and the spiritual. That sounds scary. Does that mean give? Does that mean give up everything that we have? But how can you give up spiritual gifts? No, it does not mean you give them up. It means you are willing to give them up if God so requires. It means renouncing the attachment to the gifts. Therein is the secret, the key, or the great formula of being in a state of perfection. God has filled us with every gift there is, from life itself to Holy Spirit gifts. But to stand inside the gifts or be absorbed in them, to hold on to them, to get lost in them, to become attached, acclimated, focused on, and dependent on the gifts, and to let the gifts in some way stand between you and God, that you must avoid. You must renounce everything that you have in this way to God. Quote, "All that I have is yours, Lord. You have given me everything. I do not want anything to stand between us, and I do not want any gift, no matter how exalted, to take the place of you. I want you, O Lord. If anything will stand between us, I do not want it. There is no gift that can take the place of you. There is no happiness outside of you. There is no thing that can make me happy. Only you can. There is no gift that can make me happy. Only you can. I am grateful for all you have given me, but I only want you. Any stumbling block, I renounce. Flesh cannot enter heaven. You have to be dead to self in order to reach beatific vision, to be continued."